All right, welcome back, everyone, to MIRA Race Network, presented by Ginop Sales and Service. Pro Enduro qualifying for the Turtle Creek Hotel and Casino 250. Time to set the lineup for tomorrow afternoon's feature of this weekend. A little bit different order of operations. We're going to go two at a time for a couple of laps. JD is with me here, and it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be difficult for these guys that haven't seen the track on these sleds yet to head out now to put down your best lap.
And the thing of it is, I was talking to a couple of folks down in the pits. You know, it's hard to make those adjustments to the suspension, to the carbides, because, again, you don't know what you're going to run into.
All right, the 28 for Countryside Motorsports, driven by Cam Vermash, and the 57 for Mickey's Motorsports with Zach DeWald behind the wheel, will be our first to take to the circuit here as they are wrapping things up behind the Kaesner Construction Pace sled.
They're being escorted around by that Kaesner Construction Pace sled.
See everybody else working their way out as well. The R&K Motorsports 24 will get its chance out here right now, as everyone's going to get a little bit of a recon opportunity out of this right now. The four of Derek Engel. Derek Engel was the highest qualifier last week at Eagle River of the MIRA runners that are here this weekend. He qualified third for that race, was the highest runner at that event. Zach DeWald, James Hicks, by the way, won at Eagle River last week for that Pro Enduro event, so certainly they will be one of the favorites. Jacob Ritchie on the 79. Spanky, back up here.
Just a little break for the cause, but we're back, and boy, this is exciting. Listen to that beautiful sound, Nate, of those 600 snow machines out on the track, the Enduro sleds ready for a qualifying session.
Road Class Racing 41, followed up by the Pichet Racing 13 that you see on track right there. And everyone right now, Spanky, just getting a little bit of a chance to get around the track. First time they've seen
the sleds now as they but like you mentioned, this is the first time on it. Look at this track, and it's changed considerable. So
yeah, and what they're doing right now is they are each crossing the advanced installation start-finish line so they can verify that their transponders are hitting. And as they do that, then Gina down in timing, she'll assign them some data points, and we'll see that appear across the top of our screen thanks to our incredible director, Kevin Streeter. He spent 2 nights here in the production trailer all night long to put together this quality broadcast.
If you're new, Nate, and not understanding what a transponder is, there's a electronic device. Every one of these Enduro sleds has an electronic device mounted on the sled, and when that crosses there's a wire that across the start-finish line, and it automatically on race monitor or whatever, it'll keep the timing. It'll tell you the last lap. It'll tell you how far the difference is to the leader. Tells you how many laps they've completed. Tells you all kinds of stuff. So each one of these machines has one of them transponders on attached to it. So we get a pretty good idea what kind of laps they turn with the transponders.
I don't know much about much. I do know about transponders, at least. My world of racing, I at least know.
There you go.
One thing I haven't known much about anything. I know how timing and scoring and transponders work. So there's point one for Nate. I have something that I know about this weekend.
What do you know about quantum physics?
less than I know about transponders.
Well, the sleds continue to, like you'd mentioned, they run them over the line and just check and make sure that transponders work. If we look on our timing board in here, we've seen 20 sleds cross over that start-finish line, and the transponders appear to be working.
It looks like some issues for Aaron Celestino in the Celestino Racing number 31, as he's potentially going to have to to get a tow. Don't quite know what the issue is there. That's a tough weekend or start to this Pro Enduro weekend.
We are getting some information coming in. They're going to be going in groups of 2, as you've said. Our first group, Cam Vermash and Zach Dewald. On the second group, Tyler Town, Jake Giroux. Third group will be number 51, Dakota K, and number 12, Eric Churchill. In the fourth group, we have number 24, Billy Ski, and Derek Engel piloting the 04 sled.
As I mentioned a little bit earlier on, Derek Engel, of our runners here with us this weekend in Traverse City, the highest qualifier for the Pro Enduro race last week at Eagle River. So he certainly had a lot of pace to Walden Hicks's number 57 team winning that race at Eagle River. But Engel, I should say, in the Stevenson Racing number 4, certainly very quick in qualifying. He proved that a week ago, able to earn a top 3 starting position.
Escorted off the track there by our Kazner Construction pace sled.
That might be Celestino on that number 13. That's tough luck. Something amiss on that sled. That's not a transponder issue. Getting towed back pit side. So hopefully the boys can go to work and get that back up and running for qualifying.
No, it's a quantum physics issue because none of us would know what's going on with it.
Look at the 28 Countryside Motorsports machine. 2024 Polaris R. Cam Vermash is the willing participant getting ready to be a part of that first run here in qualifying to get that 28 on track.
Our fifth group is going to consist of Dakota Harris on the 43 sled and at the throttle of the 77 sled, Chad Seiler. The sixth group is coming through. I see the 3 dots blinking, so we're about to get a update on that here. Depending how fast AT&T is moving data, we'll have that for you as well.
You can see now on the vision and the M.I.R.A. Race Network, you can see up on the top, that's what you're going to get a look at. You're going to see the numbers of the sled. You're going to see the times, and everything's going to show up nice for you up there on the, if you're on board streaming live here, boy, you're in for a treat here. And call your friends, tell them to get on board and watch this race tomorrow. It's going to be a dandy here, the Turtle Creek 250.
Got the 43 of Dakota Harris, the Harris Racing Machine, finding his way out. Looks like they're getting that transponder set right now on the 43. He'll turn it back around, and Harris will get ready for his qualifying run, as he will be one of our first couple of groups out onto the circuit.
He will be representing Group 5. We'll take a quick moment to thank some sponsors for you. They include Team Elmer's, Molon Excavating, also Countryside. Joel and his crew, they just do a yeoman's job for everything MIRA. You can't walk 3 feet at one of these events and not bump into a Countryside logo, and that's because they are so committed to this sport. It is unbelievable. So we cannot thank Joel and his crew enough. Advanced Insulation Systems, your presenter of the start-finish line today. Speed Shot Photography. I haven't seen Brian yet this weekend, but you go to his website and you will get the most incredible quality photos that you can go ahead and purchase and download and keep for your man cave or your she shed. We also are sponsored by the United States Air Force. Woody's Traction Products, Fly Racing. O'Reilly Auto Parts, the presenters of all of our flags today and tomorrow. Diesel Freak, they're bringing us the junior class tomorrow, which basically is the future of snowmobile racing. Fairgrove Oil and Propane. We're also proud to thank Waste Management, Beard Oil, and Zuddles Copy Center Design and Printing with a Zip. Again, thank you, sponsors, for all of your help and support.
Countryside Motorsports, number 28 of Cam Vermash on the circuit and starting our first qualifying run for the Turtle Creek Casino and Hotel 250. Here's Vermash down the backstretch. He is partnered up with Eric Churchill, this team out of Caro, Michigan. Vermash sliding out of the fourth turn. Let's take a look what the first time is for Vermash across the stripe. A 25.478 first time around, and you see the 57 of Zach DeWald, the winners, the champions, last week at Eagle River and the Pro Enduro race there. A big slide as DeWald is wrestling that thing.
That thing just slid out on him, Nate. It won't be a good run that lap. We'll see what DeWald will get his first.
Across the stripe for Vermash. He'll get his second time put in on the board.
Here comes Zach DeWald. We'll watch the
Wow.
timer now and see when he crosses over what his lap is going to be.
Let our viewers know, you see the word waiting for data. They have not obviously assigned the names yet to the transponders, but we are getting the times, which they'll take care of that between now and tomorrow as well. You'll have full information on the team name and their lap times and stuff.
This might make it a little bit difficult for us that we'll see what the fast time is, but we won't see what number will shuffle up into that top position. So we'll do our best for you.
Absolutely will. Green flag out. Here comes the Town Brothers machine. Stephen and Matt Town, who of course they're out of Traverse City, and they were the big proponents of getting this circuit built. And we'll see what the number 2 machine right here can do for the Town Brothers.
Well, Town down the back straightaway. We'll watch and we'll get a first lap time if we can on the board here when he crosses over. It's like a 25.915 lap 1 for Stephen Town.
So that currently puts him second. You see the 12 also, or 72 I should say, also on the facility. This is Jake Giroux. They finished third. He and teammate Andy Shoemaker at Eagle River last time.
26.148 for Jake Giroux on that number 72 machine.
Giroux wheeling it a little bit more across the stripe. Take a look at the Town Brothers machine as that'll find its way back towards the pits.
Well, very tough, Nate, with no numbers associated with the transponders to really identify what machine. It can kind of just, as they cross over the line, you'll see that time, it'll blink. That transponder, you can get a lap time, and we'll do our best to try to figure out where they're going to slot in.
And this is the 51 for K Racing out of Sault Ste. Marie. Dakota K, one of 3 Ks along with James and Tate that'll be behind the wheel along with Matt McQuire. They have 4 assigned drivers to the 51 this weekend. It is Dakota K behind the wheel of the 51 K Racing Polaris.
And if you're watching along on Race Monitor, you'll see that each group, they just move down on the list there, so you can follow at least the group that's currently on the track.
29.495, lap 1 for K.
So yeah, we're into our next group right here, numbers 5 and 6, and then we'll be 7 and 8. So they'll just drop down as we go. Since we don't have the numbers on them, we'll be able to do it that way.
And we got the 12 machine now, following the 51 of Dakota K.
Here comes that Countryside Motorsport number 12. There's a good look at Dakota K in that red 51. K Racing out of Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan on that 2021 Polaris IQR.
All right, we'll get the next group. It'll be led out by the 24 of Billy Ski. He paired up with Tanner Heatdirks for the R&K Motorsports machine. They hail out of Traverse City. Billy Ski behind the wheel of the 24 sled here in Pro Enduro qualifying.
You know what? That's a penalty, Nate. When you say wheel, you're in your car racing, you're IndyCar racing. These don't have wheels. That's a penalty. That's $1 every time you say that. You're up to a few bucks.
Oh, a lot of bucks. I mean, like, there are gears involved, and gears are kind of a version of a wheel.
Okay.
It turns.
We'll only charge you 50 cents.
And he said he didn't know about quantum physics. See, he knows about gears. While we were taking a look at that, coming up in the 6th group, Colin Henderson and Kyle Richter. 7th group will be Kevin Vermash and Steven Olson. 8th group, Matthew Hughes and Joe Birch. 9th group, Garner Cusack and Troy DeWald. 10th group, Dustin Schwant and Preston DeShano.
See the 24, we saw Derek Engel in the Stevenson Racing 04 as well. Team out of Auburn, Michigan, working their way around. 24 wrapping up its run, and there's another look here at Engel again. Qualified 3rd last week at Eagle River. The highest of our MIRA runners this weekend in qualifying last week for the Pro Enduro at the World Championship Snowmobile Derby event there. So Ingo wrapping up his run as well on the 04.
One thing of note, Nate, for the fans, that you can see the bigger skis on the front of these 600s. Because of the race conditions get a little rougher and a little sloppier, they have the longer skis on there that are a little more flotation on the track. You can see right there a good view of them longer skis.
Dakota Harris behind the wheel of the Harris Racing, behind the skis of the Harris Racing number 43 machine out of Morley, Michigan.
Hey, Spanky, we can about afford a hot dog now. He's done it 3 times.
I caught him a couple other times. I didn't mention
Oh,
it,
okay. Well, that includes the Coke then.
It's tough not when you're so used to, like you do, calling automobile racing. It's tough.
77, Chad Seiler for Brownlee Boys Racing out of Fenton. 2015 Polaris, the 77 machine. See something flying off the back of the 77.
Popped off the back. Was that a wheel, possible idler wheel off the suspension that flew out of there?
Now, wait a minute. He said wheel. Come on now.
No, it's the idler wheel.
That's a part of the Oh, see how he changes the rules, Nate?
Okay, 50 cents Canadian in that one then.
That's about 34 cents American, right?
Yeah, you can see it on the track right there as he comes by in that number 77 there of Chad Seiler and Ryan Wolf for the Brownlee Boys out of Fenton, Michigan. There's Dakota Harris.
And I'm not super familiar with Race Network, but we have a highlighted purple there on number 2. I think that is our fastest time, I'm going to assume.
24:9.77, the fastest lap so far.
All right, our 11th group is going to consist of Bryce Pretzel and Ted
there,
Ritchie.
Boys, you can see the outside rear idler wheel is missing on that number 77 sled as he went by there. So that's what flew off that sled.
And rounding out our qualifying rounds will be 12th group. We'll have Adam Weiler all by himself.
Good look at that number 13, Arctic Cat. Out next, Colin Henderson, Drake McCullough, Pichet Racing out of Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan.
It's a 2021 Polaris IQR. Being wheeled here again, the Pichet Racing machine. I know I just said wheeled, but I'm going to stick with it. I'm also saying that I'm using wheeled as a verb, and he is wheeling it right now. So I want to say that.
Okay, Your Honor.
Oh, no, now he's throwing grammar at us, Spanky. We're in trouble.
You give me see the mean look you give us when we mention that to him? That's all right, buddy. That's okay, Dave. We still love you, man.
Richter and Bosick aboard the RCI Richter Racing number 62 2020 Polaris 600R team based out of Traverse City. You see the 62 there.
Yeah, good looking run for that 60. There's Colin Henderson on that 13. Drake McCullough, a young rider at Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, on board this weekend with Colin. There's the 62. That's the Richter Bosick entry.
And it is Kyle Richter. That's the one that is qualifying the 62 and wrapping up his run right now here in Pro Enduro qualifying for the Turtle Creek Hotel and Casino 250 tomorrow.
Those boys out of Traverse City, Michigan.
All right, next group gets the green, the 44, Kevin Vermash and Keith Gainforth for WV Performance for their 2021 Polaris 600R team out of Unionville, Michigan, as Vermash will go to work here.
Boy, that's a great shot there by the camera crew here as he really gets it down. Lifts that inside ski, a little touchy moment for a second.
Got that knee just off the surface of the ice.
Dropping the knee will follow the 44 and Vermash a little bit more. Also out on track, the 41 machine, Scott and Steve Ullman for World Class Racing out of Waterford, Michigan, 2018 Polaris, the number 41.
A little bit sideways now as he'll pitch it sideways, gather back up, and sit back in behind the windscreen down the back straightaway.
Go back to Vermash. He wraps up his run. It looked like it was a pretty clean run for a lot of it. Looks like he's in the mid-26 second mark as well. I think we're seeing track conditions deteriorating because we've definitely seen some of the general pace going down after those first couple of runs in terms of what we've got going out on the track.
Well, these sleds, approximately 200 studs, carbide studs in the tracks. And just imagine having 200 studs at that horsepower, probably 130, 140 horsepower or better, chewing away at the ice. It doesn't take long.
On one of our episodes of Inside Track that you can watch if you are a subscriber, we talked with Austin Leak, and he was telling us that it takes approximately 8 hours for a single person to install studs from zero to full.
8 hours, and how many Band-Aids when cutting yourself when you're
I was
trying to
just
tighten those babies in there and knuckles.
I was blown away that we got a close and personal look at them, and they are razor sharp.
There's your champion from last year's I-500, the number 19, Joey Birch and Nick Wickerham this weekend, and that MIRA Racing Polaris.
Looks like potentially is an issue. We obviously have the yellow in hand, and the 19 is momentarily at least appearing to potentially be stranded as some other sleds also finding their way back on the circuit. So not quite sure what's going on here with the MIRA Racing.
Something on the track, Nate. It doesn't look like anybody really panicking around that 19, so I think it's still running there, the tether cord plugged in as we wait to correct something on the race surface.
Driver on the 19 having word with the 17 R&S racing machine out of Hubbardston, Michigan. Garner Cusack and Hayden Knightsky behind the controls of the 17.
Boy, beautiful looking snow machines. All the graphics that are so nice on these machines. Just real nice looking, all the machines that all these race teams have brought here to race this weekend.
I do have to tell you, with the show Inside Track that we are producing for our content, it was so nice to get a very up-close look at these beautiful machines. These things are absolute works of mechanical art.
They truly are.
MIRA Racing machine refired and will roll off. So that Joe Birch and Nick Wickerham machine back underway and starting up the run. It looks like it is Birch that is at the controls of the 19 here.
Look at him muscle that sled. I think you're right, Nate. The track conditions maybe going away. You can see he was pretty loose as he got up out to the outer side of the race course there. Look at how sideways Birch is.
Look at that foot just hanging off there. Wow.
I think you could water ski behind that, Nate. We'll get you water skiing.
Yeah, right? No, exactly. 17 also on track. It's the opposite of what you see in qualifying when you think about pavement racing and what you see there, because typically the track's getting better. Things are getting rubbered up. You typically want to be the last car on track. It's the opposite today with the way that these conditions have been. I think a big advantage to the likes of the 28 in Vermash and the machines that were able to get out on the circuit right away.
A little bit different look if you look at there's the MIRA Racing number 19. Watch when that 17, that Arctic Cat, a little bit different look on the front end setup on that. The trailing arms very long, very tall. You see right there, you can see the tall outer ski posts on that. A different setup on that Arctic Cat.
And the setup on the Arctic Cat with those longer posts, what does that do in terms of the responsiveness and kind of the balance for the rider? What are they looking for?
Well, a lot of these teams, they'll realize that the race conditions, it's going to get rough. This is an enduro race, and some of these teams will set the suspensions lower. Some of them will set their race setup, because we're not going to get a lot of time to run on the track here. So they'll run a higher travel, let's say, and because that's what they're going to be running tomorrow. So. And with the rough conditions, maybe a higher travel at this point is a guess of the crew chief if that's going to be the fast setup here.
Right there, the Iron Man himself, Troy DeWalt, on the 21 Cataract sled.
Boy, that's a pretty Arctic Cat, that Cataract collision. Woody sponsored number 21, that Arctic Cat.
I'm only upset he doesn't have his purple lights on the bottom. That was so cool.
Maybe tonight when he goes ice fishing across I guess there's no frozen lakes down here, is there?
That's correct.
KMW Racing 2017 Arctic Cat 600. Luke Krentz, Dustin Schwant, the pilots of that one this weekend. And it looks like it is Schwant behind the wheel, behind the controls in qualifying.
Yeah, Krentz and Schwant, a young team. They're a very fast team on that Arctic Cat. The number 7. There's a good look at DeWald in that 21. What's his lap time? Tough to say, about a 26.48, I think, but your fast time was one of the first sleds out at 24:977. That's the time, the fastest qualifying time so far.
And that the only time going south of 25 seconds, and now we're seeing runs way more upper 25s, lower 26s as we've moved our way through this session. 84 machine on track now. Chris Howley, Preston DeShano, a 2021 Polaris 600R, and that one's getting wrestled around right now in this qualifying run.
Yeah, you can see him really sashay on the bars on that one to get her down through the corners again. A little bit sideways. He'll bring it off turn 4 to the line. You can see a lot of slush on the track right now.
And across the stripe that is DeShano behind the bars, and we'll continue our look ahead. And here's the 92 team. Haven Bouvrette, Bryce Pretzel.
You got it. You nailed it, buddy. The bars. I love it, man.
Well, I've been fighting for the best term to use, then you used it. Mike, I'm going to use that.
We'll give you a couple bucks back for that.
Okay, cool.
Good job.
It's good. I was in trouble by the way that was going. By the end of 250 laps tomorrow, I was going to be beyond broke.
Great job. Look at the slush and the water flying. Is that the Bouvrette, number 92? It is.
It is, and that's a 2021 Polaris 600R. Another look back at the 84. Preston DeShano controlling that one.
Looks like possibly 4 more sleds to go here in qualifying. Boy, what a nice crowd here on the banks. Everybody nestled around here watching qualifying. Thank everyone for stopping out here at the racetrack.
They are going to send Troy DeWald back out. They did say there was a problem with his transponder, so they'll give him another chance at it.
Jacob Ritchie in the Ritchie Racing 79 out of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. I think you know that area fairly well, Spanky.
Yeah, one of the boys, one of the only sleds so far here registered from Ontario. The Ritchies, that's a well-known name up in the area. Grandfather, first winner, Canadian winner of the I-500 up there, Ted Ritchie, back in 1978. That's Jake's grandfather. The late Ted Ritchie, I should add.
And Weiler John Giffel, the R&R Racing number 20 out of Fairgrove, Michigan, 2023 Polaris IQR.
Giffel's got a few laps out here today as he mashes the throttle and brings her across the stripe.
They'll get checkered on that run.
Still 24:977, your fast time. That'd be the 57 team.
There's your photographer on the screen right now with the Stevie with the nice looking camera there. JD.
Oh, is that Steve or Brian? That's Brian.
Or Brian. There's
Yep.
Brian, yeah, with the nice looking camera.
Man, he's got some lenses that are as long as my arm. They're phenomenal. And he does. He takes.
He's got something else standing that close to the track and willing to take those pictures with all that slush and water and those fast machines.
Would you
flying
mean?
around.
Would you mean cojones the size of basketballs?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was meaning.
All right, so this is Troy DeWald. And
Yes,
you mentioned
on the
that
number 1 sled,
so
right.
So he's gone to a backup sled here with a different transponder, and that's what they're going to have to run. So normally the number 21, now back out under the number 1 banner right here. This is the DeWald and Spencer Cataract Collision Team backup sled for DeWald, which certainly kind of adds to some of the difficulty trying to make this run.
Huh. Oh, look at Troy. Got her right out to the edge and rode up on the bank. That's tippy-toeing through the corner there, right there.
A full send right here from what right now is number 1 for Troy DeWald across the stripe. And what I guess in Indianapolis we'd call the T-car right here for DeWald in his second machine.
26.4 the time on that one.
26.4. So, yeah, the track certainly DeWald, one of the veterans. He's a fast qualifier, and 26.4, kind of mid-pack.
That 79 sled, Jacob Ritchie, pulled the 28.9. And according to my list, I have 2 more sleds that are yet to roll. The number 0 and the 13C.
So DeWald wraps up his run. So the 0 is the Erickson Racing Team, Jordan Erickson and Matthew Hughes Jr. 13, the Pichet Racing
and
sled.
Just getting this information, next up we do have our F500 Mini Enduro. They haven't said how many laps yet. Normally the first ones are between 10 and 15, and the last ones are between 15 and 25. So I can pretty much assume they're going to stagger those back a little bit for our conditions today.
When I get down after qualifying pit side to mark the riders' helmets, I'll set that up with Mr. DeWald to tell him you want to go in the back. For
okay. I feel like I didn't. I don't think I volunteered myself for this. It seems like I'm being volunteered.
Your choice, either on the back. I'll let you in a little thing. If you get scared, just put your hands over his eyes when you're holding on, not around his waist, and he will slow down a little bit. That's just a little thing that it'll make him slow down like that.
In the Army, Nate, we called that voluntold.
Yeah, right.
Or we can get a pair of water skis and you can try that. Got your Speedo here, Nate?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, we've been talking about how warm it is. Now, again, I mean, it depends on how much you like cold weather, how warm you think it is.
Okay, they're holding. Yep. Okay, they were just calling for the plow trucks, and all of a sudden they said, "No, wait! According to my calculations, we still have Jacob Erickson and Matthew Hughes Jr. along with Colin Henderson and Drake McCullough that have yet to."
We did already see the 13, so I wonder if they had a transponder
we did.
issue.
Okay.
They aren't listed. I wonder if they, like DeWald, had a transponder issue.
Okay.
Right.
So, yeah, they were calling for plow trucks, but then they...
So we'll get that figured out. You see everyone congregated back pit side. You see some of those F500 Mini Enduro runners, including Spencer Hassefort right there. Now we've got plow trucks moving, so it looks like actually we are wrapped up with qualifying.